Hey, it's Isabelle from the Assisted Living Network. And if you're curious about how you can raise rates without pissing off the family members, today's episode is for you.
In the United States right now, there are 76 million baby boomers. The number one dilemma for these baby boomers? Housing. That dilemma can be your opportunity. Welcome to the Assisted Living Network podcast, where you can discover how just one residential assisted living home could secure your financial future forever.
One of the most important things to consider is why. Why are you raising rates? Is it because of inflation? Did you do renovations to the home? Are you providing a new service like a private chef or more highly trained staff? Is it because the specific senior's health status has declined and they need more attention and care and help with their ADLs? All of these are valid responses as to why someone might raise their rates in their assisted living home. Keep in mind, big boxes usually use a points system and raise rates consistently. So there are really two methodologies of doing business. And the first is that tiered or point system or whatever you want to call it. But basically, there's a flat rate and then additional things that may increase rates over time, like inflation, changes in the facility, and most commonly, increased health issues. But the second method is to choose one flat rate and lock that price in over time. Even within that model, some people may choose to do inflation increase, but never health decline increases. So based on which model you've chosen, if it's the first one, this should have been laid out during intake. The family and the senior should be aware of the coming price changes and how they will come, when they will come. So it's really a non-conversation, but it doesn't mean it won't upset the family. When they're doing the intake, there's a lot of heightened emotions and they may have forgotten what was being said and what's expected to happen. So I think over communication is always the best method here. Yes, even if it's expected, even if you gave them paperwork, a quick call, listen, a nice letter goes a long way to soften the blow of higher fees.
Hey, it's Isabelle from the Assisted Living Network, and I want to personally invite you to our 3-day fast track training where we show you step-by-step how to open your first care home. If you're listening to this podcast, you're probably interested in residential assisted living or getting started in this. And if you're brand new to it, don't worry, we've got you covered. We're going to show you how to find the homes, fill the homes, and fund the homes. You don't have to go at this alone. We're here to help you, so click the show notes and grab your ticket today. Now, back to the show.
Now, if you've chosen the second model and you've locked them in at one secured rate, and you've also given them the paperwork in that intake process indicating potential things that could raise rates like 3 to 5% increases each year to keep up with inflation, that should help, cover the cost of continued rising cost of care, food, supplies. And that's something that when the yearly check-in comes, you can remind the family and the senior so it's not a huge surprise when they get that new bill or get that jump. But I really want to talk about two other important things to consider: eternal rates and takeover rates. First, some care homes, specifically smaller RALs, have been doing a new model where they charge a large upfront fee, say $10,000 to $20,000, and then they say, hey, this rate locks in your price of $5,000 a month for the senior's entire stay, no matter how long they live. This is similar to a CCRC model where you pay one large lump sum and then monthly fees based on what level of care you need. RALs are taking note and doing eternal rates, and they choose a monthly rate that's lower than what this person would potentially be paying. So if average rates in California are between $9,000 and $12,000 per month, they might say, hey, instead of paying $12,000 per month, we could lock in an eternal rate of $20,000 up front, and you'll only pay $5,000 a month, as long as you're here. You're basically betting against the family for how long the senior will live. If the senior lives less than 2.5 years, you win. Ugh, I hate even saying that, but it's kind of how this model works. And if the senior lives more than 2.5 years, then they win, okay? Now, we know the average length of stay in a care home is 3.5 years. So with this information, it becomes an easy sell for the families because they feel like they're getting a big discount over the long run. And of course, if the senior does not live that long in the care home, then you have that benefit. This method doesn't upset the family at all. It can delight them, right? Because you're giving them options so they know what they can do. And they can choose higher monthlies with a lower, upfront, or vice versa. Either way, it's clear and they're aware of what's going on. So no one is upset unless, of course, the senior passes within like the first 6 months. And that is the risk you take. I know people who use this method. It works and it's a huge selling point. I personally do not do this because it's just not the model that suits my needs, but it is an option. And let's address the other side of it, the takeover rates. This is one final scenario where you may need to raise rates, and it can be a challenge to share this information with the family. And this is when you're potentially first starting and you bought someone's existing business. So when you're first getting started in business and you're the brand new owner, there's more than likely something you're going to want to do to the property. You don't just want to keep it 100% as is. I mean, even with your personal home, everyone puts their little touch on it. It's very rare you walk in and keep everything exactly the same. So whatever changes you're making, well, they're going to cost you. But hopefully they're also going to attract higher end clients so you can make more money and have a profitable business. But the seniors already living in the home, you can also raise their rates. And what this looks like is this. For example, you just bought this existing home. You come in, you paint the entire house, and I mean all the walls. You rip out the flooring. You install gorgeous new LTV flooring for smooth access within the house. You install 43 new light bulbs, new cabinets in the kitchen. You swap out old furniture for new. You plant new trees, get the landscaping in shape, and give everyone new bedding and buy new couches. It's a complete, redo, okay? You buy lift chairs for the living room. This is a lot. The families, when they come to visit, they're surely going to notice all the hard work that you've done because it's mostly cosmetic. It's things they can see and notice. It's really hard to raise rates when you installed new plumbing or did electrical work. I digress. But once all the work is complete, or before you even start the work, you should send a letter to the families introducing yourself as the new owner and letting them know everything you've done or you plan to do to improve the place. And ask for any other suggestions or requests on how you can help their loved one have an even more, comfortable experience. You're excited to be able to provide them top-notch care and a quality environment to live in. You can even host a little town hall or open house and have them all come and say hi. And at this gathering, you let them know your heart for senior care and you hear their suggestions for further improvements. After this meeting, you should send all the families a thank you letter expressing your gratitude. And again, listing everything you did or you plan to do to improve the home and how grateful you are for their trust. And in this letter, you can outline the cost increases. You can also leave your contact information and let them know that if they cannot accommodate the increased rates, that you're happy to chat with them and discuss options. Majority of your residents' families at this point will have no issues. You've shown the plans or the improvements already. They see the benefit, they understand why, and they're probably grateful for your new ownership. For the 20% who are unhappy with the price change, because it's always an 80-20 rule in life, for those families who don't want to move forward, you have options. You can either A, keep them in the home upon a hush-hush basis and basically say, hey, listen, we want your mom to stay here. And if you can't afford the changes, she's been with us for 1.5 years and we don't want to have to upheave everything and have her leave. She's welcome to stay at the locked-in rate. Or B, you can say, hey, we completely understand that this price point has changed and it may no longer be a fit for your family. We've partnered with 4 other care homes nearby and we're happy to help with placement recommendations to any of those homes, that are more in price alignment for you. This is a great way to offer support and you can even get paid on that placement. But with option B, you may have another 50% who say, well, moving would be worse than just staying and paying more, so we'll stay. It gives you a chance to call their bluff, and you always have option A. Overall, we'll need to make a plan for the improvements. Take notes from the families and seniors and staff on what really needs help, and then do a meet and greet, and finally send a letter and then implement increases. Now, for everyone coming into the house as a new senior from here on out, they will come in at those higher rates automatically. But going back in time can be a challenge if you just spring it on the families and send them the bill. No. So take heed and do it the right way. Overall, there are a lot of options as to why and how you can charge the rates that you want within the home without upsetting the family members. But always remember, this is the cost of doing business. You lose some and you win some, and that's okay. It's the price you pay. The only thing you can and should focus on controlling is the how it's done with couth, tact, and respect. That's what's most important and what will be remembered at the end of the day. Don't forget to like and share the episode and follow us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Thanks for listening to the Assisted Living Network.